So these blending brushes, they come 3 in a package, and they are really, they're nice and soft and seem to be high quality. So how are they different than our alcohol Stampin' Blends? Or our alcohol Stampin' Blends we use to color with, as you can with these brushes, but you're going to do a lot more detail work with the blends, whereas the brushes is more blending a color, which of course you can blend with the alcohol markers too. Actually, the brushes kind of take the place of our Stampin' sponges. And I shouldn't say take the place, because I still plan to use my sponges, but I'm also going to be using my brushes. But these two products, the sponges and the brushes, are more alike than they are different. Whereas the blends and the brushes both have color, but this is you can do a little more detail work with the blends than you can with the blending brushes. So I hope that makes a little bit of sense. So I'm going to be using Petal Pink, Crumb Cake, and Balmy Blue. Let me show you the card I'm going to make today. So this is the card that I'm going to create. You can let me know what the weather is where you're at, but I know it's cold in a lot of places right now. So I thought we could maybe try to warm ourselves up with a little summer seashell card. And so I was able to add the color on this front of the card using the blends. And so that's what we're going to show you. So you need a card base, and all of the descriptions will be on my blog at rusticbarncards.com. And they'll be on there a couple hours from now or tomorrow. So you need a base card, 8.5 by 5.5, folded in half. You'll need, I'm using Balmy Blue for my first layer, and then I'm using Basic White. So I'm going to bring in the Painted Texture 3D Embossing Folder, and I'm going to place the Balmy Blue and run this through the cut and emboss or whatever embossing machine that you have. And I have that completed, and it looks like this. And then we're going to take our Basic White, and we are going to use the Seashells 3D Embossing Folder. And we'll lay this inside, and you do want to straighten it up, and you can kind of place it, so if you want more of this larger shell at the bottom, you can just push it up a little bit so you can kind of see what you're going to have before you run it through. You can see the images on there. And then after I run it through, then I have this beautiful embossed cardstock with seashells on it. So I'm going to lay that aside. And then you're going to need a scrap of white and a scrap of blue for our sentiment. So we are going to go ahead and stamp our sentiment. And I am going to use Hey There Friend, which is from the Darling Donkeys that is in the celebration, which you can receive free by placing a $50 order with me. So Hey There Friend. So I'm going to ink this up. And stamp that. I'm going to do it one more time. I think it's kind of crooked. There, that's better. Clean that. And that's actually the only stamping we're going to do unless we decide to put a greeting inside. So I'm going to go ahead and bring in this oval punch, and I really like this oval punch. It's in the new mini catalog, January through June. And I'm going to place this right here don't know if I stamped that over enough, so we're going to come over and go ahead and use the one I did first. So I'm going to stamp, and so now I have a basic white I can use later. And we'll bring in our Balmy Blue. For our layer. And we'll lay that aside, and now the fun begins. We're going to use our Stampin' Blends. Now, I have used these already. They are 3 for $12, so that makes them about $4 each, so they are not inexpensive. They are a little bit expensive. Some people I know are going to use one for each. They're going to get one for each color group, like for all the blues, all the yellows, all the reds, all the greens. But you can wash these. Now, what I have done is that I just used my simple chamois to clean it off. But you do want to let it dry before you use it. Okay, so they need to dry for a day or two after you use them, after you wash them. And some people I know, they actually take them to the sink and wash them out, let them dry for a couple days, and then that way they can use them with more than one ink. Okay, so we have Petal Pink. I'm going to go ahead and open that up. So I'm going to use a brush for that. And Crumb Cake. And Balmy Blue. And a lot of times people want to start with the lightest color first. Because I have Balmy Blue, I'm going to go ahead and start with Balmy Blue. And it would be, Petal Pink would be my lightest color. But I'm going to go ahead and some people just swipe it across there. But I like to take a hold, and I know it has a handle, but I think you'll have a better grip on it if you kind of hang on to it at the head of the brush. And I'm just going to kind of make a circular motion to get ink on there. And of course, it's better to have less ink than it is too much. You can always add more. So I'm going to start off my paper and then just bring it on. And you can just apply it wherever you want. So I'm going to bring in some more. I'm going to do it off the paper. That way it doesn't have a big blob of ink right there. And I want a little blue kind of all the way around the edge of my card. And we'll put some blue on. Okay, and then I am going to bring in the Petal Pink. So I'm changing my brush, circular motions, and then I'm going to work right here on this shell and add some pink. And I did forget to start off, but I will do some layering. And you can, what's nice about these brushes that you can layer. So you can layer the colors on top of each other, and you can build. And now I'm going to bring in the Crumb Cake and my third brush. And I kind of want these little squiggly, I don't know what they are exactly, these lines. Maybe it's a plant. I'm going to try to have Crumb Cake on that. If you stay with me, I do have another card to show you at the end using different colors. And I can go over this blue over here. I can add so I can build colors, more than one. So I had Balmy Blue, and now I can add the Crumb Cake. And now I want to add a little bit more blue. So I'm going to bring in the blue. And your cards will all be a little bit different with this shading, the blending of the colors. But see now how it's starting to take shape, and you can see the colors blended together. I think we're just about finished. I am going to add a little more of the Petal Pink on this shell here and on the blue. Okay, what do you think? Let me go ahead and close up our ink pads. Oh, hi Heidi, I'm glad you could join me. I think I might still be not quite in the correct orientation, but we are going ahead anyway. Sometimes you just have to do that. So I'm using the blending brushes, and I've been blending, and you may have been here a while, I didn't see. So I'm going to bring in my card base and my first layer, and we will turn this over and grab our Stampin' Seal. And I don't see my silicone craft sheet, but I think we can do it without that. Sometimes this Stampin' Seal plays well with me, and sometimes it doesn't. So I've made this just a little bit smaller than my card base. So it just has a little bit of white around there. Now, on one of the cards, on my example card, I just glued it down, but on the other card I'm going to show you, I popped it up. So we'll see which one we like the best. Well, I'm going to have to switch. I could get my liquid glue, but we'll just switch with that one. All right, and now I'm going to place this right here, bring in our sentiment, and I'm going to just put a little ink here. Oh, not ink, glue. That was glue, that wasn't ink, was it? I'm going to add a little glue. Hey there, friend. Now we're going to turn that over, and we'll pop it up with a couple of dimensionals. And we'll add this right here. And now let's bring in some embellishments. We have pearls. We have elegant faceted gems that we could use, or the basic rhinestone, which you can see that I use a lot of. So let me bring in the Take Your Pick tool. And I think I picked up a pearl, so we'll just go with the pearls then when I was bringing them in. And there's some larger and smaller ones in this. So we'll put a large and a small one there. And let's bring one down here. And we'll need one more small one right there. So there is, oh, I'm glad you like the shells, Heidi. I think it's a pretty card, especially during winter. We want to think about summer, right? So here is the card for my sample or my example that I started with. And this is the one that we made together. And then I told you I would show you one more. And this is the card that I used white with crumb cake layer. And then I used Take Time for Yourself, which comes from the Seaside View. And I thought I might stamp this sentiment inside. So, hey there, friend, and then stamp Take Time for Yourself. I thought that would be nice. And so I wanted to show you how you can make these in different colors of cardstock. And here I use the faceted gems. And I don't know if I told you or not, but there's prizes tonight. So I'm going to do a drawing, and the winner will win a package of the blending brushes. And I'll post that on my Facebook page. And again, don't forget my card class to go. It's free with a $30 purchase before shipping and tax. So just use that host code, and I'll send all the cardstock and everything. You have to do your own stamping and have your own ink and stamps, though. And you can check more information on rusticbarncards.com. I hope you have enjoyed how to use and how to clean blends and making a fun card. We really didn't hardly do any stamping today. We did use the cut and emboss machine, but mostly it was blending with our new blending brushes. And those blending brushes you can find in my online store. Let me know which card you like the best. You like the Hey There Friend or Take the Time for Yourself? I'd also like to know, I plan to do bi-weekly Facebook Lives. So is this a good time for you, or is earlier in the day, like in the morning, the afternoon, or is this evening time better? So I would love to know. Hi, Denise. I'm glad to see you pop on. And Judy. So let me know, like, what time, works the best for you. And maybe I can work around that. So how I was able to get this, see a question, the gold shading, I used Petal Pink and Crumb Cake and Balmy Blue. So here, if you're talking about like this one, I used Petal Pink and Crumb Cake and kind of layered it. And I could, I could keep layering. And on this card here, I just used Crumb Cake and Balmy Blue. I did not use any Petal Pink. So this is all Crumb Cake and Balmy Blue, and I layered them on top of each other. So you kind of get like a shell. So it kind of has a multi-looking color on that. So, like the Hey There Friend. Yes, I like that too. Well, thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Sorry about the technical difficulties. I'll have to figure that out, won't I? Oh, thank you for the likes. If you can give me a like, I would appreciate that, or a thumbs up. And if you can share this video, that really helps me too. But this may not be the one to share, since I think my orientation is maybe not going the right way. I'm not sure. But thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.